We're going to learn how to identify grammatical names in given sentences. First of all, before we look at how to identify grammatical names in given sentences, let's look at what constitutes a phrase and a clause. First of all, how would you know that a given construction in a sentence is a phrase or a clause? The first step, if it is a phrase, there will be no finite verb in it. For example, the old man was here. If I underline this construction, the old man, and I ask you, what is the grammatical name given to this underlined construction in the sentence? First of all, you have to identify whether this underlined construction is a phrase or a clause. Now, to do that, you have to identify what we call a finite verb. Is there any finite verb in the underlined construction? If the answer is yes, then the underlined construction is a clause. If the answer is no, then the underlined construction is a phrase. So the underlined construction here is the old man. Do we have a finite verb in this construction? The answer is no, because there is an article, old is an adjective, and man is a noun. So there is no finite verb in this construction. Therefore, this construction is a phrase. Let's look at the second example. When I got there, he had already left. If I underline this construction, when I got there, and I ask you, is this a phrase or a clause? What would be your answer? Now, when you look at this construction, you can see that we have a finite verb in it. And the finite verb in this construction is got. Now, because this construction has got a finite verb in it, this construction is a clause. So, because this construction has a finite verb in it, we term it as a clause. The first construction did not have a finite verb in it, and so it is a phrase. So, the first step in identifying whether something is a phrase or a clause is by identifying whether there is a finite verb in it or not. If there is a finite verb in it, it is a clause. If there is no finite verb in it, it is a phrase. Now let's see whether you've understood what we learned. Indicate whether the underlined constructions are phrases or clauses. Number one, once a while, Bob visits his mom. So the underlying construction here is once a while. First, we have to indicate whether it is a phrase or a clause. So once a while, is it a phrase or a clause? Now this is a phrase. Why? Because once is not a verb or a finite verb. Is not a finite verb. And while is also not a finite verb. Therefore, this is a phrase. Number two, I don't know how to swim. I don't know how to swim. The underlying construction is how to swim. Is this a phrase or a clause? Now, let's find out whether this construction has a finite verb. If it has a finite verb, then it is a clause. If it doesn't have a finite verb, then it is a phrase. So when you look at the underlying construction, it begins with how. How is not a finite verb. Now we have to. And this to is followed by the verb swim. And so it is an infinitive, to swim, to swim. It is similar to jump, to eat, to sing, etc. So here, this is an infinitive, and infinitive verbs are not finite verbs. Therefore, this is a phrase. The last one, this is the boy who killed the snake. We have underlined the construction, who killed the snake. Now, to determine whether this construction is a clause or a phrase, first we have to identify whether there is a finite verb in the construction. Now we can see the verb killed, which is a finite verb, and therefore we can successfully say that This is a clause. How many did you get right? Put it in the comments. Now, I want you to do the work on the board. Indicate whether the underlined constructions are phrases or clauses. Put your answers in the comments.